neighborhood here called the Purple Pig?
I heard about the Purple Pig. I heard they have really good spots.
Oh, rocking snacks.
Be careful. Unless we just made a couple of grabs. All the way up there.
However, we'll stop under the flag.
What is it?
The shirts.
Which mini topic? That's private third week, no, second week I was here, third week, I went to. So, we stayed up.
Megan, how long has it been since you've seen them?
Like 5 months now, I think.
That's in Chicago.
The building looked good in context with the other buildings around it. So we call that contextualism. And we'll see more examples of that as the height of the Burj Khalifa. So we don't have the tallest building in the world anymore here in Chicago, but we did raise the architect who went off and designed it, right? So we're going to count that, right? Now, let's do a little compare and contrast, right? With all the prominent jewelers in Chicago to work out of it in the early 1920s. Every time you see one of these really decorative buildings along the river, more often than not, it's going to be that revival style from the 1920s, which begs a question. Why are we building office buildings in Chicago in the 1920s that look like European cathedrals? Well, you got to remember, everybody who was living here back then had all just come over from Europe, so they were still borrowing standards of beauty from back home. Now, as we head underneath the next bridge, you can see we're jumping all over in time, right? 2009, 1920s. Underneath the bridge here, we're heading into the groovy 1960s. Over to here on the right, very iconic towers here in Chicago, looking like corn on the cob. These are Marina City. Bertrand Goldberg is the name of the architect here. Bit of a social scientist, trying to change the way that people live. You see, back in the 1960s, not a lot of people lived downtown. They'd work here, then they'd go home to the suburbs at night. So Bertrand Goldberg builds Marina City as a city within the city. Apartments up above, valet parking down below, but inside the building, stores, restaurants, fitness center. Used to have an ice skating rink in there. Still has a bowling alley. Used to have a movie theater, which is now the House of Blues. Out in front of the building, you'll see there are these pillars with busts of some famous American merchants. A big hunk of candy comes out of their necks. And that's a Pez joke. I'm glad to see you guys are awake this morning. You see around here, built in just the last few years. Wolf Point's the name of the part of the river where the main branch is what we're on, meets up with the south and north branches. We're going on all three branches of the river here today. And the river is why Chicago is here. If you head out through that south branch, you get out to the Mississippi, ultimately out to the Gulf of Mexico in one direction. You head out the other way through the Great Lakes. That makes sense, right? But because of the parabolic arches on the top and bottom of the building, some folks say it looks like the box your microwave hot pockets in. The holes you see are exhaust fans for that train line. But like I said, most of the buildings around here built in just the last few years. Only a cold storage warehouse. People in Germany were eating sausages processed. Two words probably come to mind: black boxes. That's sometimes what they call this style of architecture, black box modernism. Now, Mies van der Rohe is the name of the architect most closely associated with this style. Born in Germany, fled here to the U.S. before World War II, started teaching architecture here, arguably the most Imagine the Joker must have been so upset when he opened up his bags of cash and just found those Montgomery Ward catalogs, right? But there really is a connection between that big Montgomery Ward warehouse and our enormous post office. Greens, PepsiCo, just to name a few, they all work out of our old post office. But one of the most amazing features of this building is it has an enormous rooftop park. There are multiple running paths up there, walking trails. They have the Roman goddesses in Chicago in the Roaring 20s. Well, you got to remember this was the heartland of the United States back then. All of the farmers around here were bringing their goods into Chicago to be bought and sold. You want the blessing of the goddess of agriculture over your, or cerveza comes from. Now, cutting back over to the undisputed king of the Chicago skyline, that tall, dark, and handsome fella. It's also the magnificent Willis Tower. We'll talk about the confusion with the name here in just a moment. This is the tallest building in Chicago. However, it was the tallest building in the world when it first opened in 1974, and it held on to that title for over 20 years. That's a long time to hold on to that title. And the way that it did it is fish pizza, you know that to be true. Lots of different styles of deep dish pizza. Giordano's, Pizzeria Uno is the San Regis. However, this is the tallest building in the world designed.
Chicago, what up? Right over there? Yeah. Right up there. That's where all the hooligans place up on.
I mean, the Chicago River water is disgusting too.
Yeah, it is.
But people like swim in it.
I want to say swimming in it. People definitely kayak.
They kayak, they like
Try to fish. I
up
don't know.
in it. Ugh.
Yeah, so I don't think you can see it.
Didn't you try to go to
This one, there's no
Didn't you
shit.
like? He was like, can I wear shorts? I was like, yeah, you can. He was like, but I only have athletic shorts. I don't have any like proper shirts.
Yeah, dude, you gotta get it together.
You guys
bud.
are chilling after dinner, right?
What, me?
Oh, so you guys can actually see the planetarium from here, right?
Are you talking to us or are you talking to Tim and Ryan?
So remember where I told you the best?
I know, we're right next to it. Right? I didn't include brunch, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys. Do we have more?
What?
So this is black.
Sick.
It's gonna be sick.
Yes, and order another one with a fast food. No, I don't know. But it's also the weekend of
And like, so there's a bike path right there.
Zap Breezy in Chicago. Zap Breezy.
Welcome to Chi-Town,
Shot City.
Chi-City.
Sick. my bad.
We got my friend. We got my friend.
Yep.
Alright, this is about to get so messy.
I know, I gotta take my
Oh yeah, you gotta get ready for this. You didn't get the egg, so